it can be really hard to get distance on our own work, especially something that we've turned into a full-length essay. And so one of the ways to do that so that you can go in and make the sort of revisions and additions that you need is to re-outline the essay. So take that compare and contrast argument or that causal analysis argument and set it to one side, pull out a new sheet of paper, a new Word document, and create an outline. I suggest you actually sort of copy and paste this format where you have your revised thesis, and then body paragraph, topic sentence, primary evidence, secondary evidence, main point of analysis. And you do that for each of your body paragraphs and then come to a conclusion. Once you have that template down, and it doesn't mean you need to stick to that sort of formulaic layout in every single paragraph, but this is to break you away from your essay. Once you've done this, then come up with what is my topic sentence for each. Go back, look at your topic sentences, look at any notes I've given you about topic sentences. Place in those topic sentences. Pause. Scan through them. If I look at all those topic sentences, 1, do they go directly back to the thesis? 2, can I get the sort of gist of what this argument is going to be about by scanning through those? Because that is what good topic sentences should do. Then, go find the primary evidence you have for each point from your experience, from someone else's experience that you've talked to. Pick that out. And don't copy and paste it in. Instead, reword it. Just summarize it for each of these points. Do the same for your secondary evidence. Secondary evidence is this outside research that you've been adding. So the 4 to 5 sources that you're going to need for this revised research paper that you're making. Bring in these sources. Right now, they may be quotes, they might be paraphrases, they might be summaries. And if you have questions about that, go back to our lecture notes on the compare and contrast essay, where we go through what is paraphrase, what is summary, what is direct quote, and how do we navigate the differences between these. So put all of that in for your secondary, and then this may be the most important point. What is the point of your analysis? You've got all this evidence. What the heck are you going to say about it? Because remember, this is your argument. This isn't just a bunch of points of data. And then finally come to that conclusion and review what makes a good conclusion. It shouldn't just be reiterating all of the points that you've made. Avoid that. Instead, push forward to perhaps reflecting on why this was so important, or reflecting on a future change or a future goal based on what you have learned, what you've experienced, and talked about in this research. So, having given the sort of structure of what you're going to do, let's start it with Tate's essay. That essay that we went over as an example of a good essay. So, first of all, we have a thesis, and it's not Tate's thesis, it is a revised thesis. Because as you are revising your papers, your thesis should be growing and evolving too. Because that's the argument that you're making, and with more research, you may be making slightly different points. So here is a revised thesis for Tate's essay. More often than not, nasty comments only feel like abuse when you receive them, not when you're giving them out. In this essay will analyze the way social media's infrastructure, as well as a sense of online anonymity, say that 3 times fast, makes it easy to throw out hateful messages without thinking. And so this is a revised thesis to make a causal analysis argument about why these sorts of things are causing a explosion, if you will, of online bullying, and online bullying that's perhaps surprising or not registering for the people who are doing it. So that's a revised thesis. Now with this thesis, We've got our points about social media's infrastructure, about online anonymity, and that should be what we see in our body paragraphs. It doesn't mean we just have two. We might have multiple ones about infrastructure and multiple ones about that sense of online anonymity. In fact, you probably should have multiple to support this because you're going to be supporting it from so many sources, and each paragraph should be really specific. So one part of that argument. So going back to Tate's essay, Tate's first body paragraph starts with examples of unintentional bullying online. And that ties into this first part of the thesis, right? And so the topic sentence is going to be about that. And the primary examples are from the MP's experience of misunderstanding internet slang. And yes, the MP's experience of misunderstanding internet slang, because a primary source is either a creative source like a novel or someone's lived experience, or the writer's experience. Then there's secondary evidence, like this essay by Sine Whitson, who talks about the difference between rude, mean, and bullying behavior at the school system. Although this source is primarily aimed at kids, it has clear definitions by a licensed educator and therapist, and it's useful for analyzing this primary material above. So that's why the secondary source is here, and how it's going to be used, which is we're going to take this definition and then use that definition to analyze and understand what's going on here. And the main point of the analysis is the way unintentional bullying can develop out of just misunderstandings, because that was the main point Tate was trying to get across in that paragraph. And we would do the same for all the following paragraphs. So that's what you're going to be doing. And again, the reason to do this is not just busy work of a discussion board. It's so that you can get some distance to rethink how you're organizing this. And it might result in changes in you moving around or changing out evidence. Embrace that process, because that is an excellent way to evolve and revise, really revise, not just proofread your essays.